This is us, we the people, by the people, and for the people, not by what the government says.
That's right.
This is about us. We pay these people not to get in office to murder us, but to protect and serve us. We don't have to take this madness anymore. This is a good cause for unity. We have a man here who's done nothing to be murdered for anything. He didn't have a weapon on him. All he had on him was a piece of steel that he carried to protect himself when he was walking in his community. Don't murder him because he didn't know or couldn't hear you. In other words, I penalize you for not being able to hear me. That's the message that I got from it. But here today, I'm telling all y'all, my name is Michael Washington. I'm a political activist for the northeast side of Oklahoma City. A lot of you know me. I don't come out here to waste my time. You call me up, here I come. I don't need money. I don't need anything from you but unity in our community. And there's nothing that you can do today than come back and let this man's memory be of a great accord. This man done nothing to die. He did nothing to die. He didn't come at those officers and say, I'm coming to threaten you. He didn't have a weapon on him saying, I'm coming to get rid of y'all because you're in my community. He simply was in his, matter of fact, 15 feet away. You couldn't listen to people who were beside you telling you to hold up. He wasn't an immediate threat. He didn't run at the temper. I'm coming. Come on now, let's look at that. If I'm walking towards you, I'm trying to, hey man, I'm like, hey, what's going on? I can't hear. I don't understand. So this goes to tell me that the procedures and training here in the Oklahoma Department of Police need special training. And y'all ready for this? We the people should tell them what training they need to have from here on out.
It doesn't really matter if you're deaf or hearing or blind or what the color of your skin is. We all have different cultures. That is not important. The important part is the police needs to be patient with everyone that they encounter. It shouldn't matter what your culture is. They should be patient, never mind what your culture is. If you have an intellectual disability, if you have other things that make you difficult to communicate with, or you have a different background, police should be trained in patience first of all. And you know, he used that stick to protect himself. You know, if a police officer put a flashlight in his face, he couldn't see anything, what they were saying. Same if we get pulled over, that's what they do. They put a flashlight in our face and we can't see. So, you know, and sign language is visual. Sometimes that's scary to police officers. They think that we're being aggressive or something like that. They need to be able to understand the deaf community and our special culture. And it doesn't matter who you are. It's not just deaf. It could be any of us. But they need to have patience. They need to learn that shooting first is not the answer. They had tasers. They had something to shock him with. That was good enough. You know, if that was not, if they're not strong enough to be, or if they're too strong to be not subdued by the taser, then, you know, shoot them in a non-lethal place. But murder is not the answer.
And here, this sociopathic white cop doesn't even understand because of the fear that is embedded with them after long lines of generational racism. Because their fear of being friends or allies with us. So I'm glad to be here to stand in solidarity with the Sanchez family, to all my relatives down south, all my relatives here, all the relatives that are here today. Give yourselves a round of applause because our ancestors died and survived against this system. So be here. Yeah. And so I'm going to use my voice.
How many times are we going to have to say again? How many hashtags will it call? We should have started this moment with a moment of silence, because it had to be a very fearful moment in silence when the police chose to shoot and tase a deaf gentleman who could not hear them. They were not listening. Think about the irony that they were not listening to the people who cried out and said, "He cannot hear you." Those who are trained to protect and serve, They shot because they were afraid for their lives from someone holding a cane.
Now put yourself in that position. Without a voice to help you, without a way to communicate. How can we stop injustices like this? We must have training. It's so important for law enforcement and the community to be able to navigate the world with the deaf community. Law enforcement need to understand our culture all over the USA. If I come up to a police officer and I motion to my ear and my mouth, that means I cannot hear. I cannot speak to you. It is simple. If he waved his hands like this, what does that mean? Oh, no, no, no. I can't hear. That just means I can't hear. It's clear. It's obvious. That's a non-verbal cue that those police should be able to pick up on. I'm involved with DGM, the Deaf Grassroots Movement of Oklahoma. But there is DGMs in every state, and our goal is to have communication, access, education, and equal treatment. What happened to Mr. Sanchez was a failure of the system because there was no communication.
That's right.
And that really impacted the deaf community all over the U.S. Imagine not having communication and a police officer having disregard for your behavior.
Right, right.
Body language is so important for them to understand.
Right.
And in the deaf community, body language is everything.
That's right.